Oh,
All right, we are live. I think I'm not sure where we're at today because
Because it's Freedom Friday. We can
it's
be
Freedom
wherever we want.
Friday.
It says we're live.
It says we're live. Okay, so we'll
Says
put
so.
this up here. Let me check it real quick.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it says we're live. Okay, we are live. Let me grab my YouTube link. Make sure that I can interact with whoever may show up. And then we should be good. Grab this and put it back down here. All right.
3 hours later.
3 hours later. Today, we are going to be talking about Freedom Friday, right? On Freedom Fridays, we like to talk about the Grow Rich audios and the Think and Grow Rich call because Freedom Friday call is super powerful call and because it stays up for a couple of days. And we really like that because that allows us to give more value to our lists, our people, our Facebook, our whatever, all of our social media. It lets us get out, the stuff that's available for you, whoever you may be. And hey, I think Positive Polly's here today again. Good to see you, Positive Polly. I think it's hard to see your picture. You're pretty small on my thing, but I think you're in HBA already, if I recognize you right. So if that's correct, just acknowledge that if you don't mind. If you're not, you can acknowledge that as well. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about Grow Rich audios and the uh, Grow Rich Mastermind Collection and how you can get it. And on Fridays, I throw that up on our page so that you can grab a hold of that from whoever sent you here. And of course, I like to show that right away. So I'll show that in a moment. Um, I also like to introduce everybody. Of course, I'm Jim, and my tag there says Jim and Christy Hall, but I'm just Jim. Christy Hall's over that way, one of these ways. And we've been together since 1993. We've been together a long time. We still have our AOL email since that time. Um, uh, Christy, when she first met me, she was blown away that I had email, and that was actually, well, it was actually a little before that time. Probably she was friends with my sister and called the house, and that's when we met. And so she's like, "Wow, you have what is email?" And so it was an interesting time. So that's how long we've been doing this internet thing since before the internet was even the internet. I used to get on bulletin boards and go on little special back pages and all kinds of weird stuff. I had a select group of friends that even knew what the internet was back then. And got some really large phone bills from tapping into special servers from dialing up on my little 56K baud modem and with the real fast internet back then. So, anyways, we've been doing this a long time. I love computers. I always have, and I've been programming on them a long time. I do have a degree in computer programming. I have known 4 or 5, 6 different computer languages, and so I'm fairly skilled at this thing. I like to say I'm not an expert. This stuff moves quick, so you got to stay up on it and keep learning. So that's what we do here. We keep learning. With me, of course, I have Janine and I have John and I have Christy. And we come here and we try to help out and we try to teach and we try to learn all together. And you never know. I pick up things from these guys all the time. I pick up little ideas. John and we talked about some woodworking yesterday, and then it just popped in my mind. Like I was watching this guy doing some woodworking a year or two ago when I was thinking about doing woodworking, and I was like, "Hey, John might not know about this guy. Let me send this stuff over to him." And he's like, "Hey, I was just thinking about that." So, so the same thing. So we bounce some ideas off each other and send a few things over, and it's pretty cool. Just having people around that are
is that
like minded.
Facebook
Go ahead.
algorithm that you have that you knew I
What
was thinking of it?
It must have been, you know.
You must have knew I
No,
searched for it.
you know, and that is a little bit of it, you know, because I ended up seeing your page somehow, and then I saw your picnic tables, and then it just brought up to my mind, you know, that you're doing stuff again, and then I was like, hey, I remember that guy, and I was like, I mean, some of the stuff that he does is really cool, and some of the stuff he does, like I said, he does a lot of stuff that he actually sells, and I was like, I mean, I don't know what you're really into, what the whole idea is, but I was like, hey, I know this guy does a lot of stuff that he actually sells, so um, who knows where you want to go with it, you know? And like we talked about yesterday too, if you want to start teaching people how to do other woodworking things, picnic tables may not appeal too much to other people. You know, it's kind of a large project that a lot of people may not have the room, may not have the facilities for, may not, you know, it's heavy. Don't even really, you know, I wouldn't want to do picnic tables. I want to have a truck, you know, so it would be challenging for me to do. So, so small things would be a lot easier for me. So just so that's just the kind of the things that popped into my mind. So, anyways, I like to share the page that you could, would, should be on, right? Wow, we already got 5 views today. Somebody, they must have liked my little short email today. Um, so here we go. We're going to share the page and show you how to get the goods. And hopefully you'll stick around, even though I show you how to get the goods, right? So here we go. We're going to share the page. You can learn how our heart-centered community can better serve you while you seek prosperity online. And I think this is important. You know, I spent a little while with someone in the community this morning, and one of the things that she said was, you know, she's having a hard time in a different business getting help from anybody. And I love that that's not the situation here, that there's a lot of people that will actually help you here in this company. We have a great Facebook page. We have a great community. We do lives. You know, we do lives for our inner circle, so to speak, but so does the company do lives every day. And the founders, the co-founders, both do lives with us and share their stuff and get other people to come out and share their stuff. And so it's really great the opportunities that we have. And I've never seen anything like that. I've seen other companies that actually hide um, themselves as best they can so that you never can locate them. You know, that is not what happens here. So here's us. Here's how you can get started with us. The Mastermind Collection is what we're talking about today. If you click that button there, you can get over here to the Mastermind Collection page. This is where you can get all your freebies. This, of course, includes Think and Grow Rich, which we read every day. Now, we do cycle through Think and Grow Rich, the Science of Getting Rich, the Laws of Success. We read the Major Definite Purpose 4 days a week, and we read the Freedom Crusaders Manifesto on Fridays. And then I'm not sure. I think we do even read all these others, Compensation, Acres of Diamonds.
Yes.
These are short, so they don't last very long. They're usually like a day or two, and then they're gone. But all of these get read, and so because these are all out of print and out of rights, we're allowed to read them in a public space, and you're allowed to just download these. So they're all here. Then there's a bunch of music, master affirmations list. Master affirmations list is really cool because all of this stuff goes into your unconscious. You read through this consistently, your unconscious will pick up on these ideas and start to mold and shape your life. It's been scientifically proven that it happens, that anything you feed your brain molds your brain. So be careful what you feed your brain, right? Because if you feed your brain negativity, you will develop negativity. So we want to get as much good stuff in there as we can. On top of that, like I said, there's music, there's lyrics, the book of the month, the ultimate reading list. Jim Rohn says every house over $250,000 has a library, right? And he also says that might be a clue. If you want to get to $250,000, start yourself a library. That may be that's how they got to $250,000 house, is by having a library. That leaders are readers. So here's a good set of books to start with. These are, what we've been reading over the years. I've read a lot of these books. I own more of them than I've read, but I've read a lot of them, and I continue to read as much as I can. I enjoy it. I get a lot of ideas from it, and it continues to shape and mold our minds. I give it a lot of credit. Let's stop the share for just a moment. One of the reasons why I read a lot actually is because of Ben. Ben. Is that not his name? Is that why I can't think of his last name? He's a brain surgeon. That's a that is a politician. Anyways,
Carl, is it the guy we saw at the movies?
the guy we saw at the movies.
Carl Carter. Ben Carter.
Anyways, it'll come to me
It's
soon.
the guy we saw at the movies.
It's the guy we saw at the movies.
He must not be charging enough because he didn't help you out at all remembering his name.
Ben Carl.
Christy, you talk for a little while.
Okay, you're gonna think about the name while.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that I like about the Mastermind Collection and these Freedom Friday goodies is that I am blessed enough to be the harmonic engineer. Hey, mute yourself because I can hear myself talking. And it's so weird to hear your own self talking. So I am lucky enough to be able to be the harmonic engineer for the Grow Rich Mastermind call. So every morning I get on the call, usually about a half an hour early, and I log in, I make sure all the controls are set up, I come up with a quote, and I read the introduction to whoever the host is. Now, I don't think I could ever be an actual host because after about 5 paragraphs, that's about how big my intros are for everybody, about 5 paragraphs. After that, I'm like, even just doing the same thing. I read the same thing about the same people every week. And by the time I'm done, I'm so nervous. I don't think I could ever, like Jim, even on these calls, he just can talk and talk and talk. He could talk for the whole hour and never shut up. But me, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm nervous. I can't think. I have so many pictures because I've done so much volunteer work and I've had to get up on stage on a podium. And almost every single one, I'm in tears. I'm vomiting before the event. Like I have anxiety past here for speaking in public. But with the harmonic engineer, there's nobody can see me because it's just a phone call. I have my script that I read. I get through it and I'm like, oh, I did it. But it has allowed me to hone in, like that's the word, hone in on what the speakers are saying on the books. And then at the 30-minute mark, we have like a mastermind where everybody gets to talk about almost anything they want to. And I have made so many friends that way. I have learned so much about people and personal development and affirmations and just soul moving connections with so many people. And I feel like the most blessed person on the whole world because I get to do that. And Matthew Martin is here. He's my favorite person. All right, Jim, you ready to take it away? Did you find his name?
Well, I was, and then you said Matthew Martin was your favorite person.
My favorite non-husband person. Although we could arrange. I'm just kidding.
Matt, how's it
Kidding,
going?
not kidding.
You still didn't get your camera working?
No, it's my computer's just I got a new hard drive and then things just went wonky.
Nice.
So I got to do some configuring and figuring out stuff.
Did your computer crash or did you just wanted a new hard
I
drive?
just moved some things to different folders and messed something up.
Yeah. Yep, I've had that happening too, because I had a hard drive go wonky on me not too long ago. So, all right, cool. Well, welcome. So the guy that I was talking about was Ben Carson, and we were pretty close. I don't know how we didn't get there, but Ben Carson, one of his big claims to fame is that his mom made him read all the time, and he actually read every book at his school, his elementary school, and then I don't know how far he took that, if he, read everything in his whole life, but he was a very, very avid early reader. And I wasn't up until I heard that. I hadn't read much at all. And I heard that was a big thing that changed his life. And so I started reading, and it really has helped me a lot. Another thing that I read is that your income has a fairly direct correlation to your vocabulary. And another person started to read the actual dictionary. And as he read through the dictionary, he became much, much wealthier in life just because his vocabulary expanded. And I found that very interesting as well. So I like to read now. I probably could expand on my type of reading because I read primarily self-help books. And I have found fairly recently, at least, that most of them are just about the same. So it's probably time to broaden that horizon a little bit, but I do enjoy it a lot. So anyways, let me see. Did we finish going down the page here? I don't think we did. And if I'm talking too much, everybody, Christy, feel free to cut me off and share some of your tidbits. I don't like to leave any dead space. I like to leave as little dead space.
That was a compliment, just FYI. It was a compliment.
So that nobody feels like they have to come out and talk, because I know that most people are fairly uncomfortable talking, and I don't mind. I don't mind messing up. I don't mind, it doesn't matter to me how, not that it doesn't matter to me how this goes. It does matter how it goes. Loving a computer chair. All right. So again, this
That was
button will get
trickery.
you over. Say that again.
I totally tricked her into that one.
Yeah. This button will get you over to the free stuff and get you, checking out the community, getting all the goodies, getting into the mindset curves and just the good stuff. This will get you into the community and get you into the tools that we have, the products that we use, the commissions that we pay. You can make up to what is it, for three sales a week, you can make up to $224,000 a year because we pay 80% commissions. There's like $12,000 worth of bonuses just for checking out the funnel builder, which is only $25 a month. So for 25 bucks, you get $12,000 in bonuses just for checking it out, right? And I mean, that's pretty good. And it's the best funnel builder tool, best page builder, membership tool, calendar tool, booking widget, CRM, all of that stuff. It's the best one I've seen.
Hey, Jim.
And yes.
Don't mean to interrupt, but you've been doing this for a while, right?
Yeah.
You said this is the best one you've seen compared to how many?
Compared to probably 20, 25.
Pretty good.
And what I really like about it the most probably is there's no sneakiness. It's 25 bucks. It's not free to get started, and then it's 25, and then it's 75, and then it's 197. It's $25, and it's no increases. There's no other packages. It's super simple to use. We actually looked for a membership tool for about 2 months, 3 months, and we couldn't find anything under like $300 that would even work for what we wanted. So I mean, we tried 3 or 4 different ones,
Yeah.
at least that were specific just membership tools, and we ended up figuring out that this one was the best for reality. Now, for $25, like I say, you're going to get everything that you need. Could you do things a little easier in some? Yeah, you could do things a little easier in some, but you don't have near the control. You don't have near the optimizations, the capabilities. You don't have, the freedom, the accessibility, the ability to change how many ways you can make things. Go ahead, Matt. I saw you undo.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I mean, I know the funnel builders out there, and it's probably the best one for design wise, because one of the things with a lot of the builders is a lot of the controls to change things are all on the sidebar, so it's not a true drag and drop. And from a time management perspective, it's probably the builder you can build pages out the fastest. Now there are some limitations, of course, but I find that the design experience from someone who designs good stuff is that this builder is the best. The only thing comparable would be a WordPress plugin, I think called Thrive, which is something I used to use. But even that was too complex. And the simplicity of using a builder is very more simplistic than a lot of the other ones. Some of them are like getting into the cockpit of a 747 with all the gears and knobs and pages. So in my opinion, it is the best builder for designing anyways.
Yeah. Now, I went in the first year or so, I did say that this one is probably not the best at some things, but I've learned that really depends on, what you're looking for. If you're looking for the options and the usability and all that stuff, this has all of that. Where if you want to just slap something together, there might be a better option out there, but if you want to
Yeah, and
actually
even a
build
lot of the more
something,
expensive ones, you can't actually just dive into and become an expert builder unless you put in the time to get good at it. Either,
right,
really the
right,
best builder is the one that works best for you. But in my opinion, biased opinion, I'll say that it's this one, and I tried them all.
right, right. So that's about, I didn't want to really go into a funnel builder lesson, but yeah, for sure, the funnel builder, it is awesome. And we use it, and what most people say about it is they're surprised how much they actually want to use it, because most times people dread building pages, and with this tool people like building pages. It's actually you don't get that dread of, oh, I got to go in and build another page today. um, I was actually teaching somebody how to make pages. Hey, look at that, Matthew Martin's working. I was teaching somebody how to build pages for a while, and she told me at one point, she said, if I knew this was going to be 14 pages, I would have never started this. And then a year or two into it, she was up to like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 pages. And she's like, I just love this thing.
Jim, did I tell you about that site I did with 600 videos?
600 videos. Right. Well,
Yeah,
and
that was horrible.
our page that was on dang it, what is up with my brain today?
You take the wrong pills again?
Yeah, I must have took the wrong pills. That was on Microsoft front page, was over 10,000 pages by the time we ended up shutting it down.
I think the reason you're having problems is because you're thinking of stuff from 30 years ago. Let's come into this century.
Yeah. I was looking at Amiga yesterday, like, wow, Amiga would be pretty cool again, right? Anyways, so today what we're really wanting to get into is, well, we've pretty much already covered most of it, haven't we? Anything else you want to add about the Grow Rich audios? I know we covered it fairly quickly.
I love it.
You love it. I know that. I know everybody loves it. It is.
I would challenge anyone to get on the Grow Rich Mastermind call for 3 months. 3 months, and see if your life isn't completely changed. That's my goal. That's my challenge to you. John, what do you think about that?
I'm about 2 weeks in, so I'm in already.
Yep. Matthew, do
Now,
you get
I
on
do,
the
let's go
calls
then.
in the morning?
we didn't hear you, Matthew.
I said in combination with the Let's Go app.
In combination with the Let's Go app. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I've used productivity apps before, but I guess I make it more of a habit to use this one. It's definitely a game changer when it comes to staying on task using the Let's Go app. So it's highly recommended.
I love it.
I do still have a little challenge because I'm not a note taker. So I'm still trying to work it in. So I've started looking at the Teo, the book that Mike and Amy have been reading, Tao, to try and
Well,
spur that.
You know what I like about the Let's Go app is it's talk to text. You don't have to take notes. And as much as you talk, we've already established that. You just go to your journal, go to your tab, whatever it is, press blah, 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 and you could have it filled for a month in 5 minutes.
You can search your notes too, right? I believe you can do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I am a note taker when it comes to using text docs. I probably have like 1,000 text docs that I'll never open up again with some kind of note I put in there. So putting it there and being able to search it, which I haven't tried it out yet, might be something that'll help me out too.
Yes.
I have never had a reason to need to take notes is the thing. And maybe that's because up until today, I remember everything.
You are almost 50. Let's not forget.
You don't remember exactly how it was, but you remember some of it, right?
Right. I mean, I pretty much remember exactly how everything is, you know.
Okay.
So I have a pretty amazing memory. It's pretty crazy, really.
Uncanny, huh?
So, huh?
Uncanny.
So I don't know. I've never taken notes ever in my life. So it's really a thing that I've really had a hard time wrapping my head around needing to do. So, but I've been trying to because I do want to use the app, and I open it every day, and I at least take a picture of the open screen and try and post it somewhere.
Matthew, I hear you say it was searchable in the app?
Yeah, I haven't dove into that. I just recall that from Paul's video. You can search your own notes. So for me, that's good. So I'm always using text documents to save something, and then I'm trying to go through 100 different text documents to find the last document I need, which I can never find. So it's a habit of I'm in a good habit of taking notes, but finding them again is my challenge. So if the search functionality does work, which I haven't tried it yet, it could be a game changer for me.
I know that's two things that Paul said were really big things that were objections from other people, was that people like to write down their notes, and that being able to do text to speech and being able to search for them are two good things to get around those objections, because that's just things that can't be done, you know, when you're writing notes. So he's found good success with using that as a objection breaker. So
yeah, I've never had an app that you could do that with for productivity or notes. So I haven't dove into it yet. So if it works the way it's supposed to, I think it's a game changer for anyone that's in and taking notes.
Dive into it, because Ashley Casper, she did a presentation or something other on how you could search your notes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is a game changer.
Well, just popping in here, guys. Just wanted to say hi. I do have to leave, so I enjoyed the
Thanks
call.
for popping in.
good to see you, Matt.
You're popping in. It's good to
Haven't
see
seen
you.
you in a while. So
Camera's working.
Yep. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, buddy. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show some more Facebook stuff.
Maybe I ran him off because I said I wanted to marry him.
No. I don't
Man.
think you quite said that, but okay. So I'm going to go over and do a little bit of Facebook stuff, and then I'll think about something else that we can do here in a minute. Because I wanted to show John something else that he may or may not know. And I may have shown this before, so he may have already learned it from me. Who knows for sure? If we go into, let me share my screen. Go ahead, John.
I mean, you didn't take notes.
Well, yeah, I didn't take notes.
You know, swings are, I don't know if you're into swings, John, but swings are really good, you know, down in the South. Everybody has a swing on their porch.
I'm trying to price them out right now. And our I don't know what lumber price looks around you, but it's crazy around me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the good thing is, I think a lot of people know that. So they should be willing to pay up some prices for that also. So
I have one order. I have one order for a swing.
Yeah. And I think that same guy does. I think that same guy does some decent swing ideas and some decent chair ideas too. So I mean, he does a lot of stuff on his YouTube that you can get some good ideas from. And I'm sure there's a lot of other guys. Not that he's like the end all be all by any means, but I do know that he does some pretty cool stuff. So here's some things that you can check out too as far as Facebook advertising. So on your page, you've got a button right here that says advertise. And if you click this button, you can actually come in here and get started with, you could do create new ad, right? So you could do an ad from here, and you can actually do an ad that they call a dark ad or a blind ad. And this ad won't post on your page. So like if you wanted to do, like we were talking about doing some split tests or just some test ads, you could do a similar version of an ad and it won't go on to your page. Now, the problem with this ad, of course, is it doesn't get seen by the people that already like your page because it's not on your page. So you won't get that extra boost from the people that like your page. So as you get a bigger following on your page, this may or may not be really beneficial. Another reason to do this is if it doesn't quite go along with your page content. Like for instance, you're primarily doing ads around you're doing ads around picnic tables, and you want to try something smaller, but you don't really want your fan base to be in on the something smaller. You could go with one of these hidden ads, and it's not on your page then. So your page doesn't actually know about it. And so this is one way that you could do that. And you're basically just going to come in here and create your ad right on the spot. And or you could, same thing, you could use a post, but this is different than boosting because you're creating an ad. Now, in here, this is the only place that you can get more page likes. You can come right in here and you can save that. And then you can run this ad and you can change, you can use your description or use a similar description or whatever. And then you can use a button label that is a like your page. And then of course you can use whatever you want as far as your actual post. So you don't have to use your cover and you don't have to use your description. You can use whatever you feel like, but you can still have your like my page as your button label. And then of course you can come in here and change your advantage there, and you can still set up your audience, and you could still use your audience that you've created. And then now this will let you, this is also seems to be the only place that you can run an ad continuous. So you can set it for $5 a day with no end and just let it run. Now, the same thing, once you run this, you'll get a little thing up here that lets you just pause it or stop it, whatever. So if it's not working, it'll just keep running. I mean, you can just shut it off. But this is, if you do it, run this ad continuously, this is your daily budget. So it's $5 per day or all the way up to $500 per day. So be cautious of that because that will go pretty quickly. Then be sure to check this off. I've never run anything on purpose to Instagram and Messenger. Now, I have sometimes accidentally, but I never have on purpose. And then your pixel here again. So that is
under the audience, Jim. Is that where we had my radius?
yes. So, and picking your radius, it seems to, it doesn't let you do as much in here. This is what we talked about. It'll let you type in your location, right? But to get to the better targeting, you want to scroll all the way down and then go to your ads manager. It doesn't let you do near as much inside of this area. And then once you create it, like you see, picnic table is still in here from where we did one the other day. So you can just select picnic table, and that one is still set up like we did the other day with the Michigan and so on and so forth.
So for location though, can I just do my town plus 100 miles or something?
Yeah. Yep. And you could do,
because we got the Great Lakes around us, you know, so I'm thinking it's about 100 miles to one side of the Great Lakes. It's about 100 miles to the other.
right.
Covers a great radius.
Right. And then another thing, and even when you do this, let me show you this. So now these get to be a little challenging to find. Of course, they're in your ads manager, but when people like them, they'll pop up here. So I have one running right now. See, this one says these people and 564 other people have reacted to a post you shared. Now I have this one running as my like one. And then when they like it, you can come in here and you can invite them to like your page. So if you come in here and click invite, click them to invite, and you see the ones that have changed to following are now following my page. So we just come in here on a daily basis and just invite them. And so that's one that's running. I'm running this one right now for $5 a day. And you can see I've gotten 789 engagement. When I started running this, I had 77 likes and 100 followers. It's been running for, what would you say, about 10 days?
Yeah, about 10 days.
So I've got 50 or so dollars I've put into this.
Have you found some sort of a sweet spot per day that you'd spend on
it's just kind of up to you. You know, it depends, you know, what your budget is. Again, you can go down as low as $1 a day, or you can go up to $500 a day. At $5 a day, I figured it earlier was like $1,200 a year. Is that what it is? Or was it $1,800 a year? So are you willing to spend $1,800 a year to build your page out, basically, you know, or $365 a day or a year to build your page out, you know? So
yeah, I mean, if you budget that in and think about, you know, the return investment on it, like it makes sense.
Right. Now you still come down to skill, right? Now I've run this ad, this particular post, this Napoleon Hill post, I've run it several times with different things, and it always does well for me. Now I do run this one with a Napoleon Hill and affiliate marketing group, you know, as far as targeting wise goes. So I am getting, the people that I want. I'm not just, now I've done it before with just like a blanket worldwide, everybody click on it. But I find that even though it's cheaper to get leads or get clicks, it doesn't get who I want. Just like in your case, even though it would be a lot cheaper to get likes to your page for worldwide, it wouldn't do you any good to be getting worldwide people wanting to get picnic tables.
Right. Not until I get into smaller stuff.
Right. So we'll go back here. And then the same thing with these. And I don't know if I've showed this before or not. I know I've showed it before, but I don't know to who. All of these, whenever you get likes on something, if you click on them and you push invite, those people can start to follow you. So anything you got going on, you can invite them to like your page. And some of them will. They don't seem to as much as they used to. They used to seem like everybody that you invited liked your page, and now not near as many like your page as used to. But that's the whole point in boosting some of these, like this. I boosted this for $1 a day. I don't have any other thing going on other than just maybe this is one of Paul's might go viral posts. And so I boosted it for $1 a day. See if we can get any likes on it. Then I can invite them to like my page. It looks like one of them has liked my page. So, for $1 a day, I'll take it. We'll see what happens with it. Now, another thing I have done is instead of doing it for just 4 days, I boosted this for 30 days just so that I have a little more control over it. And like I said, right here is that thing. You can just slide it and shut it off. If it's not doing well, you can just turn this off and then it will stop charging you. It doesn't just charge you the $30 total budget. It charges it as you go. So far we've only spent $1.57 on this. We have 10 post engagements for 16 cents. Now, I talked about skill. You never know, I keep thinking I'm skillful, and I do an ad like this that I would think would do well in the Napoleon Hill market. And then I look at it and I've got this one boosted for $300 for 30 days. And I've got 15 clicks for $6.64, but I got no leads so far. So apparently I'm not as skilled as I think I am, because I'm not collecting leads again. So soon this one's going to go off because I'm paying 44 cents a click.
Is there like a sweet spot per day? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is, if you're getting clicks, then your ad is okay, right? Now, the funny thing is that once they get over to the capture page, there's some kind of something that's saying, no, I'm not interested in trading my email for it, right? So somewhere there's a disconnect here. Even though, here's the thing that most people say to do inside of affiliate marketing, your message to market, right? So most people say inside of affiliate marketing, you want your page and your advert to be pretty similar. Well, if I click on this, other than the background, everything is pretty similar. So maybe this background is what's throwing them off. So I need to maybe change out the background and see, does that increase the
training that we did today on the TNC, Matthew Martin, he did his pop-up much different than this. Maybe you could look at modeling that. He had it the background much darker. So maybe that would be something to look at.
So maybe just darken put an overlay on the.
Yeah, maybe.
So let's look at that. So we'll go into the funnel builder.
I could take a snapshot of me and take out the background.
Just have you sprawled across there.
Yes, I think that like that guy right there. I'm sending my email.
So this is another thing that we didn't talk about is the funnel builder. Look how many different domains I have in here, all again for 25 bucks a month. So no surprises, no upgrades, 25 bucks a month. I got 7 different different domains in here. And then so I'm going to switch over here to this one. We're going to go over here. We're going to grab this block where this image is. We got a background color, but we're not too concerned about that. We're going to come in here to this add overlay, and then we're going to add an overlay with a dark color. We're going to bring it down. Then we're going to add a gradient to it. We're going to go with a dark color, and then we're going to go with a yellowish, and then we're going to go with a radial, and then we're going to go lighter and lighter. Oh, that's the wrong gradient. We don't want that gradient. We want this gradient. So we'll go with a dark color, and then we'll go with the yellow. Take our yellow down. We also radial. Take our dark color. That. Take our yellow. What's our yellow? Our yellow out. This one to be darker, and this one to be lighter. How do you like that?
I like it.
Pop over here, see what that looks like. Yeah, we'll go with that, see how that looks for a while. See if we start getting some leads.
Don't forget to put me in there.
That's the vital thing, right?
I think so. Well, we can split test that one, right?
All right. Hey, we could show that too while we're here. How easy it is to split test something, right? So we could come in here and we could do a split test. And what that does is it makes 2 versions of the same page, right? And then we can take one of these pages and come in here, and instead of doing a gradient, we can just do an overlay color. Just do a dark overlay like this. Just save that. Now we have a split test. And now, in order to track this really well, we'll come in here and we'll tag, and we'll make this B. And that's all we'll make it be grow rich. And then we'll come into this other one. Stay and save.
So AB doing AB randomizes which one the person's going to get when it's the ad's clicked on.
Correct. And in general, all you really want to do is a small change like that. You'd want to do one. That may be too subtle. I mean, you may want to actually do something like, I mean, this may be too big of a change, but you may want to do something like this, right? To where there's a pretty drastic difference in order to do a good split test. But you just never know. I mean, it could be something that subtle of a difference, and one collects leads and one doesn't collect leads. I mean, we already see that.
Like an email getting opened, the subject, kind of like an email getting opened. The subject line could bring the whole reason why people
exactly. And I can show you too where we at. We're at 350. Okay. So let me go ahead and save this. We're saved here. So this is a live split test, and then to there's a couple of ways to now here. Refresh this. Make sure it's working. Okay, so as these come through, they will either go into our contacts, which I'm not going to show because, of course, they'll put our emails on the screen and then YouTube will delete us. But they'll put that B and A inside of our contacts or inside of our get response. So we'll know which one's collected. It'll also show up here. Now, this will be a little skewed because there's already a number there. You'd ideally want to do that right from the start. Let me see if I can. If I go to settings, if I go to options and clear analytics, yeah, that'll reset it. Okay, so that resets it to 0. Now, when you get them, this will actually make that show those conversions separate. So as you'll get tracking here and here, it'll show which one got more click-throughs, and then you can track it that way. Then to end it, you can either do it by automatically at a threshold of whatever you want. So you could do like, say, 500, or you could manually select one, whichever one is getting more visitors. You could just select it and it will drop it off to A or to B, and then it'll reduce it back down to the one page. Now, you could also do this with 2 completely separate pages. So the way that you would do that is, like, you could come in here and do an A/B test. And when you do that, you can duplicate the page or you could do a new page. So this would be a way to do, like, if you had 2 different offers that you wanted to try. Say you bought 500 clicks and you wanted 250 of them to go to one offer and you wanted 250 of them to go to a different offer, you could actually do 2 different capture pages, completely different, and run something like that. Could be a way too, like you were talking about rotating your prayer thing. You could do, you could actually get really intricate and set up a bunch of these that run to each other, and each one of them kind of trickles down and do a bunch, and you could do a cheap rotator that way. Not probably recommended, but you could do it that way if you wanted. Split testing them all that way.
Yeah,
So
check that out.
now, then you mentioned emails. So the way that I test out emails is, of course, I separate all my lists, but like my last ones I got running, if I go into my auto responders, if I had this, I ran some traffic through this autoresponder, through this capture page and autoresponder, and it did pretty good. So I decided to run it again. And what I did is I came through and I said, okay, this one got a 19% open rate and a 4.65% click-through rate. Let's duplicate this, and then let's make a few little tweaks on it, see if we can do better, right? Now, the reason we don't just change it is because then we can't really track if it does better. But by duplicating it, we can look and see. So after doing a couple of tweaks, now we're getting 27% open rates and 4.11% click-through rates. Now, that might seem not as good, right? But we've actually got more opens. So you could expect this to go down in your click-through rates a little bit because more people opened. This is actually probably higher amounts of clicks in comparison. I know that might not make quite sense, but trust me on that. Now, here's another one that was at 10.53%, made some tweaks. Now, we're not quite up to the same amount of click-throughs yet, but we dropped back to 8.33% and 0% for click-through rate. So those tweaks weren't very effective. So now what we can do is we can say that didn't work. Let's go back to the old one. And then we can go down to the next one down and say, wow, what happened here? We had 24% open rate last time through. Now we're only at 12% open rate. So let's go ahead and go back to the old one there too. And then we're going to go back to here. And let's see, we're at 3 and 3. So somewhere along here, we had a good one, and it must have not looked like it was doing good because I changed it again. and it went to 33%, and then it went down to 6%. So I'm going to switch back over to this one. Okay. And then let's see, we got number 4 was 12% and went to 8%. So we're going to switch back to that one. And then this one was 11% and went down to 8%. So we're going to switch that one back to that one. Leads are still coming through here. So now what I'll do probably over the weekend is I'll look at all these, compare my tweaks, and tweak them again and see if I can do something a little different and get a little better out of it. And that's what we're always doing, seeing if we can get better. If we can get a little higher open rate and then a little better click rate, every step of that's a little more potential, right? So, and again, you never really know, we're just using our experience to figure out what it is to do. You never really know what's going to make that happen. But if you're using the same traffic source, just like on Facebook ads, if you're using the same targeting, in general, you can take the idea that your traffic that's coming in is the same. So you can expect that your changes will be affecting the same way. They're not the same people, but they're coming from the same ideologies, right? So that's all you really have, So hope that was helpful. We're getting pretty close to the hour. Anybody have anything you want to add, share, need?
I have one quick question.
Okay.
So, I think are you running the Grow Rich Mastermind ad right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I opt into your Grow Rich Mastermind. Do you have like 10 or 12 emails already prepared in advance?
What I normally have is 4.
4?
I'm not sure what I have there right now. Let me look and see real quick. It seems like that one's a little shorter than that, but normally my lists are 4 to 5.
And how many days apart?
Typically 1 day apart.
One day.
Yeah. Right now, what I have in the Grow Rich Mastermind one is only 2 emails. So now because I have it running, I have been thinking of building out a couple more. But like I say, typically what we do is 4 to 5 is the extent. And then they go over to our main list and go onto our normal daily emails. And the way that I do that then, I don't know if you've seen this before. I know I've shared this before several times, but we try to keep our lists separate, especially while they're on a list like that. So if I go back down to like the Magical Morning Formula, for instance, and I come in here to, no, I can't really show the contacts. Let me go to one I don't have any contacts. And I go to show contacts. Then I will go to advanced search and I'll do add a condition, and I'll do contact actions is autoresponder day is greater than 4. And what that will do is it will look for everybody and make sure that they've gone through all 4 of our emails, right? Then I'll come in here and I'll do contact actions, message not opened, and any message never. And then this will say, these people never opened any of your autoresponders so far. Okay. And if it's cold traffic, like coming from an ad, coming from a solo ad, coming from our Facebook groups, I'll just delete these people then, because you never know what kind of emails these are. These are fake emails. These are people that thought they were getting something, so they put in their somebody else's email and thought they'd just get the free book, whatever, right? Then I'll take this back off, and then I'll move this set of people over to our main list. And then we'll start emailing them from our main list. Is that making any sense?
Were you talking to me?
Yeah.
I literally just sneezed and then my daughter talked. But
It
yeah,
made sense to me.
that all makes sense. Yes.
Okay. So
I just was curious on like a good amount of emails to throw out there before it's just like overworking yourself and overthinking, and you know what I mean. But either way, you're taking
there's
contacts and moving them to your main one anyways. So
yeah. So it's like everybody has, hey, chicken Russ, how's it going? We're almost at the end. If you've been here before, or if you have some questions, let us know real quick. If not, prepare to watch the replay. Good to see you here though. Never seen you before. It all depends. Like a lot of people have different mindsets on it, John. Mike does one email on all of his all of his different lead magnets. He'll do one email and basically say, hey, here's your stuff. Nice to meet you. Look for a daily email from me. And then they'll go on to his daily list. He actually has that automated, so they then move it right over to his daily list. Or you could do that and then just email them all because they don't get any other emails. We do it this way so that we get a series and then they all move to another list. Some people are on the idea that you could send out, like for instance, when I did that that woodworking one, I set this one up, show autoresponders, because I didn't really have anything else that I wanted to send them. I set them up for a 41-day autoresponder. And I built it out where they were getting an email about every 2 days or every 3 days or so. Then after that, I moved them over to my main list because the back end of this was how to make money with your shed. What size shed do you need to build a shop? Here's a book about making money on woodworking. And then my idea was once they went through all of that, they could understand what HBA might be about. So they all got moved over to my main list after 41 days. Some of those might actually still be on that list. I didn't notice because it was a pretty long one. No, they're all off. So, you know, it depends a lot on what you're doing with them. It depends on how much work you want to do with them, things like that, you know. So Peter, welcome to the 3 o'clock Eastern call. You're an hour late again.
Yeah, here I am crashing the party at the end of the call. I apologize.
All good, buddy.
I just
Man,
got in and I wondered if you're still on here. Thought you might be a little long-winded today.
Well,
So
yeah, this is going to make my whole weekend now that you popped in.
get some golden nuggets.
Right. Anything you need, Peter?
Jim, I'm too far down to let me figure out. I don't know enough to ask questions. I'll be honest with you right now, but I sure appreciate your teaching. I can follow your teaching, and you're doing a wonderful job for sure.
Well, I appreciate
as
that.
well as many other members in HBA. I'll throw that out there. Anybody that's looking at getting in a company that'll help them.
Right.
This is it for sure.
There's about 7 days of replays on the page. So if you want to go back through some of them and get some stuff out of it, you know, it's there. And you know, of course, there's all that in the back office too. So
I was watching that yesterday.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And you know, anytime you need a little extra, just give a shout out, and you know me, I'll hop on with you if I can. And usually I can, you know, so
I know. I really appreciate that. And that's I may holler at you a little later if you're around, but
okay.
Anytime you have something you need help with, then I can go watch cooking shows. So it's a win-win-win.
Well, both of you, you too, Chrissy. You throw so much into the community. It's so appreciated.
We do have a little bit of a date night tonight. So tonight might be
boy. I'll leave you alone today then. But I've had an amazing day. I got up at 4:30 this morning for the first time, and that's for me to have a productive, excellent day. I need to be out of bed by 4:30, and with wintertime, it's just so hard to do. And I did it this morning, and
Yeah. For me to
it
have
feels
a good productive day, 10:30 is about my time frame.
10:30.
Yeah.
Really? I can't.
He is such a night owl though. Like if I stay up till midnight, I'm getting a good night's sleep, but we don't even go to the bed at the same time. He's up till all hours of the night.
That's my problem. I spent 5.5 years in the Air Force working grave shift. And then I ran a copy machine business. My MO is if I couldn't fix your machine in the office, I'd say, let me take it to my shop and I'll bring it back first thing in the morning. And I'd work on the machines till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I'm just a night owl like you. If I get to bed by 1 o'clock, I think I'm going to bed early.
Right.
And
that first 3 days in basic that they're trying to break everybody, I'm like, you guys are falling asleep. I don't even know. We haven't even reached bedtime yet. I mean, 36 hours is not a big deal. And I was old when I went to the military. I was not 30. I was 27 when I joined.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was 22.
Were you?
Yeah, I was one of the older guys.
Even at 22, yeah, you were pretty old. They were calling me grandpa at 27, you know.
I bet. My dad got drafted in World War II at 32.
Wow. That's crazy.
Of course, he drove a train, but he was an engineer, drove a train in France, but he had to go through basic training.
Yeah.
And he said that about killed him.
Yeah, it was rough. I was not the oldest because after that night, I joined a week before 9/11 happened. And of course, a bunch of people joined because of 9/11, and some of them were quite a bit older at that time. And so I was older, but I wasn't the oldest by a long shot, but they still called me grandpa quite a bit. So all right, guys. Well, I'm going to show the page that you can get started on, and then we're going to call it a day.
I was going to say, get back to your teaching. Don't let me totally sidetrack the teaching. I apologize.
Hey, we're here for the people, Peter, and you're definitely one of the people. So, but
thank you. I appreciate that.
This is what we're here all about: is helping the people, and helping people get started. This is the page that you should be at. Chicken Russ, this is the page that's in the description that you can get over and get the freebies at. Click on the Mastermind Collection, and you can catch the stuff that's here. And then also you can catch the join the community here, and you can catch the all-in-one business here for $25. Positive Polly, you're welcome. Glad you hopefully got some stuff out of it. Definitely, like I said before, drop some information in there if you need anything specific, and we will cover it for you and get you going or get you better even, you know what I mean? So this is how you get started with us and get our help. So those are the two important ones. Here's the place that you can leave us some information if you're on this page, if somebody sent you here. These buttons, I didn't show this, but this is how people that send you here get credit for sending you here. There's a box down at the bottom of the page that you can put in your token, and this page will replicate, and then you can get your own unique URL, and we actually sell for you here. That's why we do these lives on this page. And then I was telling Peter, there's several days here of these back replays that you can watch over what we've done. And then of course some other stuff about the company, how much commissions have been paid. I put up the new picture here, $5 million in commissions, and some success stories and some Q&As, and another join the community link here. And that's why we do this every day-ish, to come and help the community, answer questions for people. Where do I find this paid? This was that page. There's a link in the description of this page. I try not to say it because it's not just my page. So you're referring to, yeah. So Positive Polly, it should be in the description of the YouTube that you're watching. Like I said, I try not to say it because everybody's allowed to use this page. So the URL is unique for everybody that's here. So go ahead and look in the description. You can find it. If you're not here by me, then go back to the email that got you here. And that's how you can help out whoever and get them here. Like I said before, I think you're already in HBA, so that part of it may not matter too much to you. But if you recreate this page, this is how you can send out your own unique URL and get credit for us selling for you. So that's all we got for today. And everybody, thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
Peter will get on time one of these days.
I will. So what days days do you anticipate next week that you
Hi,
will?
Janine. Hi, Jim.
I know you
Bye,
don't
John.
do Mondays.
We don't do Mondays. We intend to do Tuesday through Friday.
Okay.
And then it just depends, we do them on a whim. As long as nothing comes up, we'll do all 4 days. So
I can't do Wednesdays. I do wonderful Wednesday night dinner down at the Methodist Church.
Love
I
it.
start cooking at noon. We serve about 100 people down there.
That's awesome.
That's part of my
Nice.
mission. But
nice.
I'm gonna put in my calendar. Like I say, I'm getting back on routine, my productive routine. I'm excited about that. I had such a productive morning this morning.
Good.
And I'll be honest with you, I've taken a little siesta before this. But
Christy did too.
I did too.
All right.
okay.
Good to see you, Peter.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Janine, have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Positive Polly.
Bye.
Chicken
Bye,
Russ.
Bye,
Have a good one.
Russ. Bye.
Mm.
See you guys.